Lahaki. Erev Shabbos Nami Gezerah Shem Yishchok Benov. So we've explained that we have this Gezerah of Shem Yishchok Benov, which we spoke about last time, and that's why you can't get married on Moitzi Shabbos. And now we say, now that we have this answer, that you can't get married on Moitzi Shabbos because of Shem Yishchok Benov, Erev Shabbos Nami, also on Friday night, don't be boil her Gezerah Shem Yishchok Benov, so that when you have the Bia on Shabbos, or you have the Suda, you get married on Friday, to have the Bia on Friday night, and then the Suda will enter into Shabbos, and there you'll have the Gezerah of Shem Yishchot Benov, so therefore it works for Erev Shabbos as well. Now this is a Pella, because what do I need this for? Usually when the Gemara says, like, you can use this teretz also over there, is when there's a problem with the first teretz. We said originally that the reason you can't get married, it said tinach. It says, I get it, I understand why you can't get married. You can't do the first bia, or you can't be boil on Friday night, because the chabura, and then you'll make a chabura on Shabbos. You can't do that. So why do we need this answer at all for Erev Shabbos? Why are we crossing over? Why do we need a double reason for Erev Shabbos as to why we can't get married on Friday? We already know that. I know, because of you can't have the bia on Shabbos. So the Rashba, השתא להכי, Erev Shabbos Gezerah Shem Yishchok Mistavra de Mishum Hachi Kamahader Laokme Bahai Time. So Mistavra, because this is the reason that we are returning to make the Yokimta for this reason, Vahadar Bay, and we're returning Metama de Chabura. So the Rashba is saying that we are rejecting the first teretz. Now this is really going to come up on Hey Amud Beis, and think involve Amud Beis. We basically say screw it, it's mutter, maybe Zayin Amud Aleph. But the Rashba here, so in Zayin Amud Aleph it says that the halacha is that you are allowed to do the bia rishoina on Shabbos. So we saw Tosfos was saying that the Gemara didn't even know about this Gemara yet. So this is a bit of a problem, because we don't posken that you can't do the bia. This whole thing of the chabur, we have to go through it, but we posken that it's mutter. So here the Rashba is saying, the hadar bay mitayim the chabura ki hechi detikum matnisna kehelchasa. So now we can have the Mishnah like the halacha, because the halacha the kaimelon the mutter leboy betchil b'Shabbos, and this is the whole din of the first reason, is that it's also to boil betchil b'Shabbos. So since it's mutter to boil betchil b'Shabbos, we were making rekimta in the Gemara that the Mishnah is going lo api halacha. So I understand, but it's not api halacha, but it's a shita. You can't be boiled on techila b'Shabbos, so we don't posken that way. So now that we have the reason of Yishchok Benov, so now we can document the Mishnah according to halacha. We can say that that's the reason that you can't have bia on Erev Shabbos either. Now, Pnei Yeshua is two terutzim on this. The first one gives a different teretz to this one. This is the one we're going to look at here. The second one, the Gemara Hashadi Kalachi Erev Shabbos Nami Gezerah Shem Yishchok Benov. Fi Pshat Halacha Mashma Daha Demukmi La Bahai Taima Velo Mukni Le Taima De Erev Shabbos. So why are we looking for this Mishum Chabura? So why are we saying that off is better than Chabura? Kadisa bebraisa de la'al lehedya, because we said chabura lehedya. Al korcha hayinu misham de nichale lokma hach braisa aliba de hilchasa. This is going like the Rashba. De lo chashina letime de chabura. This is the whole thing in the chabura we don't really care about, and therefore we're changing the okimta of the braisa. Like, even though it said a behedya in the braisa, the reason is because of chabura. So that braisa is not going according to halacha. Therefore we're changing it. If the halacha lekaman mutar lebo betchila b'Shabbos. So lefizeh. Mashma de lamai de mukmi l'tayma de Erev Shabbos mishum Shem Yishchok Benov have a shaper aliba de hilchasa. So it seems that the reason that we can't have if we're switching from halacha to halacha, so therefore I have a good reason here. Now there is shapir liba de hilchos that you can't get married on Erev Shabbos. So that means, again, that you get married on Friday, and you have the Suda on Friday into Shabbos, and then you have the Bia on Friday night. So that's how it's working. So we're saying that according to halacha, that's also. Kamosha Posuk Rambam. Zal v'suyuso. So if we have a look at the Rambam, Motor la'aris, this is what Ishus Yud Dalit. Motor la'aris l'chol yom. You can get married whenever you want. Aris would be the Erusin, which would be Kedushin, any day. Afilu b'tisha b'av. Bein b'yom, bein b'layla, whenever you want. But don't get married. Nesuyin nashim lo ba'erev Shabbos v'lo ba'echa b'Shabbos. So you can't get married not on Erev Shabbos and not on Sunday. So the Rambam here is going, according again, this will be going like what the Rashba is explaining, that according to halacha, you can't get married on Erev Shabbos, you can't get married on Motzi Shabbos. Shechatan tarid b'sudaso. So since he's tarid in Suda, he might come to shakta a chicken. Chas v'chalila on Shabbos. Ve'ein zarach loimer she'asr l'nisa b'Shabbos afilu b'chol shamoa. So the acre here that the Rambam is osering, this is what the Panei Yeshua is so the Rambam and his Siyoso, that would include the Rashba seemingly, that's the psak that it's also to get married on Erev Shabbos and on Sunday. Deha amrina lekaman mutter lebol b'tchila b'Shabbos hayinu heka de lo shayach taima de shema yishchot kugon shekavar kensa kodem lechein kastam besula de nisis b'revi. So this is how the Rambam holds, according to this Gemara now, that the shema yishchot benov is alpi halacha. You can't get married on Sunday. So again, Sunday would be not Sunday night, because Sunday night would already be Yom Sheni. But on Sunday marriage is also. And I believe the Sephardim don't get married on Sunday because of this Rambam. Most people, it's very rare you're going to have a wedding these days on Friday because of the whole Shabbos thing. People aren't into having their wedding on Shabbos, but especially back then, in order to have a Suda, the Suda Shabbos, it's a lot. You're spending all this money on your wedding anyway. You may as well, mitzvah it with Shabbos and take care of your Shabbos meal as well. So they would do bedavka on Friday in order to get their Shabbos meal included. So therefore, gav the b'rais the hachanami ketani loshen lo yuvol mekom nera li. This is the Panei Yeshua, the al korcha ayri shelo kansa ad erev Shabbos. So even though it says, so the loshen is don't have bia, so he said that it is that you don't enter, we said in Rashi that it's talking about not doing nesuyin until erev Shabbos. The hachai brisa ayri hecha she'ire oines, because the brisa is all talking about where you have an oines and you can't do it on the Wednesday. The shemeis aviv shel chatan or ima shel kala va'ala katani dafal gav shehetira lo likanes b'shar yamim and filo hachi lo hetira lo lechinas lo be'erev Shabbos lo b'motzi Shabbos. So even though you're able to get married on all these other days because of an oines, you're being pushed off the Wednesday because you have the mace and the whole sugya of the veilus we went through. Mishum taima de suda de shema yishchot kain near Ali, the Shitas Rambam Zavasiyoto. So that's all explaining the Rambam and Siyoto that whole sugya is going on, and it's also to marry in those days. Mihu, a toises for Harash Vasiyotam. So then we have a nice maklokas, pashas between the Sephardim and the Ashkenazim. Shekasam lekaman, that they wrote later on, de meha poisken halacha, de motolevo betchila b'Shabbos, lo chashina nami letayma de shema yishchot. So the Toises is going to say later, and the Rosh poskens this way, that since we say again in Zayin and Aleph that it's mutter to be boiled to tchil on Shabbos, we kick out the Yishchok ben off as well. Mishum de peshita lohu she'iev sholebo be'ilas mitzvah below suda. Because you can't have a bias mitzvah without a suda. So can you have this suda? Come on, we did see this before. That you have this suda, we're going on the bia. You have the bias mitzvah and you have the suda together. So that's, you have this sudas on the bia. So again, if you've ever been to a sudas mitzvah, of where the guy's like, well, I popped the cherry. The nearest sheyetze lehem kain mida maskina haka the time of the hach brisa the erev Shabbos nami mishum shemi yishchot. That the brisa also is because of shemi yishchot. V'filo hachi katani loshen lo yivol, v'lo katani lo yikanes. So the fact that the brisa is dafka saying lo yivol, Shemamina de ikar suda beleil belius mitzvah davka. So again, that the ikar suda is not on getting married on the nasuyin. The ikar suda is on the leil of the bia. If you lahaki shari, it's even so it's mutter. The lochashinen l'shemi yishchot. The kamalan karabanan the brisa the matirim levo b'tchila b'shabbos. So that the whole thing, that since we see that once it's mutter to be boiled on Shabbos, therefore the whole idea of lo yishchot is rejected by the Rabbanan. So we have a maklokas between here. You have the Rosh and the Tosfos on one end, saying that it's mutter to marry. So whether you again on this reason as to Shemi Yishchot, is that on both? So if you just learned that the Shemi Yishchot overrides, so there's a maklokas in the brises, the Shemi Yishchot overrides the whole idea of Chabura b'Shabbos. So therefore, if you go by Shemi Yishchot, so therefore, even though it's mutter for the Chabura on Shabbos, that doesn't matter because we still have the reasons of the Shemi Yishchot Benov. Or you learn that no, that since once it's mutter to have the Chaval on Shabbos, so therefore the Yishchot Benov also gets chucked. So we have and that we're going like the first Bryce said that's the reason of the Isser, and then once we find that Isser is mutter, therefore it's mutter to get married. So there we have a big machlokes between the Sephardim and the Ashkenazim. It's where they get married on Sunday, they get married on Friday, and again there was the big minhag of the Ashkenazim to get married on Friday. L'chari that wouldn't work for the Sephardim. So Iboilahu, we have this question. Betula nisis b'ravi v'nivlas b'ravi v'lo chashinan l'kurei daita odelma betula nisis b'ravi v'nivla b'chamishi the chashinan l'kurei daita. Now the pashas of the Gemara, again the case we've had so far, is that she gets married on Wednesday. Everyone agrees she gets married on Wednesday, and that the bia is going to be on Thursday night or Wednesday night. Leil Chamishi in the Hebrew parlance. And now the Gemara is asking, can't she get married? Nisis B'Ravi V'Nivlas B'Ravi. Can she get married on Wednesday and also have the bia on Wednesday? Now we're not worried about the Kurei Daita. So Rashi, Em Lo Yimatzah La B'Sulim. She doesn't find the B'Sulim there. Lo chashin and shitkar kaso b'hai purta. So the extra, the purta. So what is the extra purta? What does this mean here? She gets married on Wednesday and she has bia on Wednesday. So when's the bia? But when is it on Wednesday? No, because that's what we're expecting. That's what we're supposed to happen. So the bia is on Wednesday. Was that Wednesday night, which is called Tuesday? Is that Tuesday night, or it's Wednesday day? So Pasha should be Basulas B'Ravi. So she gets married on Wednesday. You don't have to wait till the nighttime to have the bia. You do it on the Wednesday as well. But even though the Beis Din opens at 9 o'clock on Thursday morning, and instead of having bia at 9 p.m., you had bia at 6 p.m. So then, if it's nice to the Rashi, Bahai Porta, we're not worried that the extra little bit. So there his cast won't calm down, and he'll still go. Because again, the whole point of going on Wednesday is that if you get married on Tuesday, so then if you don't find the Basulim, then maybe you'll already be appeased with her by the time Beis Din opens up, and therefore you'll live with her by Isser. So that's the pashas that you get married. Let's say you have a morning wedding on Wednesday. The wedding's done by 3 o'clock. You have your bia, and you don't have to wait until the nighttime. So that's the pashas of the Gemara. L'haki ports. This is Rashi. Or davka. You have to wait until the night. So that's the. So at night you have to wait until it says of Revi'i into Chamishi. So therefore, only once the Leil Chamishi is entered, that's when we have the bia. The ritva here, Iboy lahu, besula nisis betala ונבעלת betala. Yesh shepirshu afilu beleil revi. Some explain even beleil revi. Now, leil revi is then going on Tuesday night, in our parlance. So therefore, you're allowed to get married on Tuesday night and have the bia on Tuesday night. The Yisrael Kadushim hem. So you're not getting married on Tuesday. You get married on Tuesday night, which in Hebrew is Yom Revi. So why does it have to be Leil Revi? The Yisrael Kadushim hem ve'ein mishamshim matzes ele b'layla. Since the Jews only have bia at the night time, so therefore it has to be at the night time, and they didn't have bia. You can't have bia during the day on Wednesday. Don't be silly. So therefore, when the Gemara says Nisas b'revi and Venivlas b'revi, it's all talking in the nighttime, the previous night, which would be Tuesday night. So Leil Revi, you get married, and Leil Revi, you have the bia. You have the whole Yom Revi, and then you have Chamishi, and then the Beis Din opens like 40 hours or 36 hours after the bia. So that's the first thing it has to be, because Jews only have bia at nighttime. V'acherim pirshu davka b'yom daled ka'amar deleka arichas zman ele shtei onus. So that it's davka, it has to be on the davka on the b'yom. It's davka b'yom daled. You have to do it because you only have 2 onus until the Beis Din opens. But if you go on Leil Revi, then you have 3 onus until the Beis Din opens. So therefore, no, it's too long. You have that extra time because you have so if you do it during the day, you have the oin of the day and the oin of the night, and then the Beis Din are going to open in the day. But if you have bia on Leil Revi, so therefore you have the Leil Revi is one oin, you have the day Revi, and then the Leil Chamishi, that's 3 oinas, that's 3 times, that's too long, and therefore that doesn't work. So you can't have that you will have the Ikrei Daitis. Therefore, since you have the 3 oinos there, it won't work. So therefore the whole thing we said above in the Gemara that you're not allowed to get married b'chlal on Tuesday, because then on Tuesday, if you get married on Tuesday, you're going to be on Tuesday night, which is what. So you can't be saying that that's what's going on here. So the Gemara is heavily mashma that the question is having to be during the day, but the machmirim and the on those who are the tsunuyim on the acts of Israel are saying, of course, are having to be at nighttime because that's the time of tsunus. The ikr issue with having be at nighttime is that everything is kind of dead outside. Everyone's in their house at nighttime because it's pitch black outside. For us today, the difference between daytime and nighttime is not so pronounced because we live in the world of electricity, and the daytime and the nighttime, it's all kind of the same for whether people are outside or what you're doing and what you're not doing, or what you can see and what you can't see. But here they are those repairs that has to be the Leil Revi, but that doesn't make any sense in the Gemara. So chayras, their chumras and their tzanos is causing problems because of a kirei daita. So therefore, v'yamayik nas b'shlishi b'la Revi. So why would that be wanted? Oh, dahad ma'nisa gatani mashkin leBeis Din. You have to get up early for the Beis Din. Meklal she'ein bein be'ila le'terumas Beis Din ela hashkamas achas. So it's only going to be one getting up. So it's not that you had it at the nighttime. Ela vadai bedalad b'yom kamar. So for sure it's saying. So Ritva here is rejecting the first pshat. Ela vadai bedalad b'yom kamar v'kagon shehu boil base ofel v'kenikr. So it was done in a dark house because it says in the Gemara that the tzaddikim, even if they have that bia, they can have the bia during the day, then you can make things dark and you can't see what's going on. So that this bia, then again, like Rashi, then the high porta, so even though the Rashi is megalad, so the shita, but rejects it, the Gemara is showing that it is incorrect. Tashema. So we're going to try to answer this question. Tani bar kafra. So now bar kafra is going to come up later. So this Tani bar kafra, he starts off, and this is a bit of a gadita halacha here. Besula nisis b'revi'i, that a besula gets married on Wednesday, v'nivlis b'chamishi. Why? Because v'nimra bracha, because it says bracha ledagim on Yom Chamishi. Almana nisis b'chamishi. Now we're going to start the sugya of why is an almana married on Thursday? V'nivlis b'shishi, and she has be it an ashishi again. That's Thursday night. Hoel v'nimra bracha la'adam. Taima, what's the whole reason that the Basulas get married on Revi'i? Time is Misham Bracha. The Brisa only mentions Bracha, Aval Misham, Ikirei Daita, Lo Chashinen. But we see that the whole point of Ikirei Daita, we're not worried about that. So therefore he's allowed to get married in the day, and therefore that extra porta isn't going to make the difference. So bracha ledagim Rashi puruvu umalu esamayim, and the bracha for Adam puruvu umalu esaaretz. So we have two different brachas: the puruvu and the amayim and the aretz. So ihachi, if the whole reason that the basula is getting married on Thursday is not because of a kurei daita, but it's because of bracha, so therefore the almana should also nami tibu b'chamishi hoyel v'nemra bo bracha ledagim. So therefore the why is the ba'ula getting its own din? She should have the same din as the basula, and we answer bracha da adam adifale. So that since the bracha of the adam is a better bracha, therefore that we're pushing her back for her own day, but that the basula has other things going on that stops her having the bracha of man. So Rashi here tamisham bracha aval man de lo capita bracha. Mishom ikari daite lo chashin and mishom hai porta. So he's explaining here that if you don't care about the bracha, so like the Rashi here is saying that the bracha is optional. We've seen Tosis before saying that the bracha is eitz toiva. Rashi saying the bracha is optional. Do what you want. Bracha de adam adifa mihu b'shishi lo tinasei besula the bisman orech ad sheni b'shabbos. So the bracha de Adam is a difa. So therefore, we'll have the question: why does the basula not get married on the Thursday and boil on the Friday? And because then she'll get the bracha of Adam. It's in Sadif, but you can't do that because you got too long until the basin on Monday. Da'atu deine chashinin lakure. Because all these times for lakure daita we are chayshesh aval mi revi et chamishi lo chashinin. But a small time we aren't worried. So Tosis ihachi. This what does it mean ihachi? Because both days are bracha, so therefore why are we saying that the almana should get married on Thursday? So perish bishle ma ihave tani bebaraisa the basula nivles bechamishi mishom ikurei daita. If the basula was going on Thursday because of a kurei daita, so therefore that's why she's getting married on the Thursday, not because of bracha. Therefore, g'davilan v'lo mishom bracha ledagim. And it's not the bracha ledagim that's making her do this. The lo chashiva have nichelam be'almana de nivlas b'shishi mishum bracha. So we would think that when we enter into the question, we're saying that ikuri daita is the reason, and therefore the basula has to have a different day to the ba'ula. But if they're both for bracha, then why does the ba'ula not get the same bracha as the basula? Because we're saying in the brisa that the bracha of dagim is enough for the basula to go on the Thursday. Aval hashtag the time at the basula mishum bracha amananami tebo b'chamishi. So again, in this question, we're saying that there seems to be a mashmos in the bracha, a mashmos in the brisa that the bracha of dagim is stronger than the bracha of adam because the basula gets put on the Thursday. And we're not worried about the kurei daita, but it's really the bracha that's forcing us to do there. So that then the ba'ula, who has no issues of going to base din, so then we'll push her off till Friday. Well, let's also do it on Thursday. So that's the question. We say no because the bracha is deefa. Now we also have a different answer here, which also goes into that. There's no real difference between the brachas. Inami mishum shoktu. So there's now a new. This is a different shoktu than we've had before. Now, the Posher Lacha is that a Basula gets 7 days of Sheva Brachas, and a Ba'ula gets 3 days of Sheva Brachas. Now, Titania, The brisa, what's the shoktu? Mipnei ma amru almana nises b'chamishi ונבעלת b'shishi. So we've already had one reason, which is the bracha for the man, but now we're going to have a second reason. So she gets married on Thursday, that's 1 day. She gets nivlas and shishi, that's 2 days. She'imata oimer tival b'chamishi. If you say that she has relations on Thursday, which will be get married on Wednesday, lamachar. So therefore, on Thursday day, mashkim lemunaso. Then the man is going to get up and go to work. V'hoylech lo, and he's going to leave his new bride at home. So shaktu chachamim al tekanas b'nos Yisrael, so that the chachamim wanted the b'nos Yisrael to be taken care of. Sheyehei simach imosh lo shiyamayim, that he'll be with her for 3 days. Again, this is only 3 days and not 7 days. Now, for Besula, she is not able to moichel the 7 days, but the Beula is able to be moichel the 3 days. But so therefore, that the Rabbanim were shoktu and kind of forced the guy to be with her and have a 3-day simcha. Chamishi b'Shabbos, they get married. Erev Shabbos, they have the bia. The Shabbos, then they Shabbos to Shabbos, so he's not going to go to work. So he has those 3 days to be. So Chamishi b'Shabbos, Rashi is the chuppah. Shishi b'Shabbos is the bia. And then you have the Shabbos, he doesn't go to work, so he has 3 days in a row of which he's with his new wife. So my ika bein brocha l'shaktu. So the pashtus here is my nafkamina. So ika benayu adam bottle or nami yom tov shechalios be'erev Shabbos. Now in Adam bottle, Rashi. So Adam bottle he's not working. He'd be a kolal guy, because even though he could go to kol on Thursday, he doesn't. He just sits around and smokes anyway. So he may as well. So why would he go in? So he'll sit around with his wife. So Adam bottle, he doesn't do anything with his time. So there, he's not going to go to work on Thursday anyway. So therefore, so Rashi lamantamar brocha to Adam adifa afzu tiba al b'shishi. So davka there with the brocha. So since Adam's bracha is a default that the bia should be on shishi, but the mandamar misham shaktu nivlas b'chamishi, then they can have relations on Thursday. It doesn't matter because he's not going to go to work on Thursday day, so they can have bia on the Wednesday night because he's not going to go work on Thursday. The ha lo yashkim lamonaso. Here we also have the same idea, even when a man is not Adam bottle yom tov shechaliot be'erev Shabbos. So Shabbos is obviously he's not going to go to work, and if you have Yom Tov that's on Friday, he's not going to go to work either. So therefore, he can have the bia on Thursday night, and then on Yom Tov, because we're only asking the question that you can't have bia on bia techila on Shabbos, but the bia on Yom Tov seems to be okay here because you have bia on Thursday night. You won't go to, and then on then on Erev Shabbos, so on Friday, so on Chamishi, so that the bia can be on Chamishi, and then since it's Erev Shabbos, it's Erev Chag, so then he won't go to work on the Friday, so he'll stay there on the Friday. So you'll have the wedding on the Thursday, the bia on Thursday night, and then he won't have the wedding on the Friday. Now the Gemara continues. Darish Bar Kafra, Rashi says again. This is the same Bar Kafra we've had before. Misham Bar Kafra nakat the Ari la Alba Garatas. This is his whole story, Bar Kafra of Tashana Tani Bar Kafra. So we get into some Agarata there. Now inami, so do these toisism inami misham shoktu v'imteim v'hechi matzi lemeimar misham shoktu. How can you tell me shaktu? The brisa we just said behedia misham bracha. We just had the brisa. The Bar Kafra brings down is misham bracha. So what are we doing talking about shaktu? Yishlomer de lahai this haishinu. This answer. It's a pirush of the brisa. Hachi almana nisis b'chamishi. The almana gets married on Thursday. Univlas b'shishi, and then going to Thursday night. There's the bia. The pirush. What is the explanation? Because of shaktu. Just like in the second brisa we're explaining. So what about the bracha of dagim? then you should leave off the shoktu lo chashu lakach. So why we're having a fight now between the takanas of shoktu and the bracha of dagim. So we're saying that we should drop the whole shoktu because of the bracha of the dagim, and we say no, we're not worried about this because in the shishi it also has a bracha, and that bracha is Adam, and then you can say the bracha of Adam is a difa. So that's the pshat in the Gemara. That's how Tosfos is explaining the Gemara. And again, here Ma'iki ben bracha l'shoktu, explanation of the Gemara. Afal gav mishum bracha lo mikri avrainu. So we've had this before. So Tosfos has a pasha teretz that shoktu is a takanas rabbanan, and therefore if you don't get married on that day, you're over the takanas rabbanan. And even there we saw before, you should probably die rather than do that. But because of bracha, who cares? It's an eitzah taiva. If you don't care about the bracha, so don't get married then. So there's an obvious difference between the shoktu and the bracha. So therefore, why is the Gemara even asking the question? So does even though b'kshem bracha you're not called you're being over, mikomakam boy lama li taima de bracha. We're still asking, what do you need the whole point of bracha? Once you have shoktu, what do you need bracha for? Inami boy, ma'ika bein lishna de mishani bracha to adam adifale. What's the difference between the answer of saying that the Adam is better? So we had that answer. That's the first brisa. Ubein lishna de inami mishum shoktu. What's the difference between the two lashons of the brisa? And we answer that is ikebanai who Adam bottle inami yom toshachalios. These two terutzim. The lishna the time of the brisa mishum shoktu. That's the second brisa. V'lo mishum bracha. Haket eleka shoktu nivlas im yirtze b'chamishi. So if you want, Rashi also said this, according to second brisa, if you want, you can have bia on the Thursday. If alishna kama, the first brisa, at the time of the brisa, misham bracha, kademashma pshita, pasha the brisa fila ba'adam bottle. So even an adam bottle has to have the bia on the Friday because of the bracha, or beyond shechalios be'erev Shabbos to leka misham shoktu. Mikomokom. So again, when you don't have the timer of shoktu, you still have to have according to the first brisa, you still have to have the bia on the shishi. Lefilu lahai lishna ilav shetakna miksham shoktu misham bracha lochuda lo havi kavum yom. So now Tosfos is saying even in the first brisa, even without the whole point of shoktu, you're still not going to make it takana of this day of bracha, because this is what he said before. So Tosfos there said that it's an eitzah taiva, and it's not miyakev, and not called a v'rainu because of it. So we go into the Agadata. Darish bar kafra. So greater are the deeds of the tzaddikim, greater than the deeds of Shemayim va'aretz. Why? De'ilu b'maiseh Shemayim va'aretz ketiv af yedei yisoda aretz v'yeminu tafcha Shemayim. So here, yedei, yadi, af yadi, my hand added the foundations of the land, and my right hand spread out the Shemayim. But by the maiseh yedehem shal tzaddikim ketiv, for the maiseh yedehem of the tzaddikim is the Beis HaMikdash. Machon l'shevtecha, the place of your dwelling, pa'alsa Hashem mikdash adoni konenu yedicha eshiv konenu yedicha. The machon, the place that you live, then you made Hashem their mikdash. Adoni konenu yedecha. So here yedecha you established with your hands. So your hands is plural. Now the shivtecha is the place of dwelling, which is the Beis HaMikdash, and it was established by your hands. It wasn't established by the hands of God. It was established by the tzaddikim who built the Beis HaMikdash, and then therefore we see by the Beis HaMikdash, which was the dira betachtonim, that God was written down here. That was a greater deed because it was done with two hands, but it was only one hand for the Shemayim. So Gedolim umishum af yadi chada yad mikdash ma'aseh yedei tzadikim hu. So the mikdash, this is what was built there. So this Tosfos, the ilu b'shemayim va'aretz ketiv damash mechada. So yadi is one. So afal gad the Messiah krovi v'yeminu teftach shemayim. So we have here v'yemini. So you have here's one hand af yadi. Yadi is your left hand. V'yamini is the right hand. So you got two hands here. So even though the crow finishes v'yamini tefcha shemayim, v'amar at the end of Kumas Rabba Menachos, the yad is the left hand. Imkain trey kasif. So this is yadi is the left hand did the land, and my right hand did the shemayim. Maisa leka elechad. Each there's two separate maisim in the psukim. The first maisa did one thing, did one hand did one maisa, and the other maisa, and the other hand did the other maisa. But maisa tzadikim echad maisa kamo beis hamikdash ketiv tarti times. So you have two hands in the one maisa. So that's how you see that the maisa of men is greater than the maisa of shemayim. Now here we have Hashiv Bavli Echod, the Rebbe Chia Shemo. So one Bavli answered, and his name was Rebbe Chia. V'yivashav Yadav Yitzro. So we have a pasuk that the dry land Yadav Yitzro. There's his hands, his two hands was Yotzar, was formed, so that the dry land was formed with two hands. So you have Yadav, and it was formed with two hands, so therefore it goes against this whole drosha. So the Gemara answers Yado, Kativ. So that the Kativ is Yado, and the Kari, you can read it Yadiv, his hands, but it's written Yado. And there's two problems here. The first problem is, why does it say Heshib Bavli Echod? Why does it call him Bavli Echod? And we'll see in the Marsha the second problem. So the Shita Mikubet says, Heshib Bavli Echod Rebbe Chia Shemo. You have this whole long language. We just say Rebbe Chia asked the question. Below Katzer v'Kamar Heshiv Rebbe Chia. Kedarko b'chol the Talmud. That's how the Talmud speaks. Why are we going on Bavli Echad? Ashmin to teach us to Mishum Shahaya Bavli, because he was a Bavli, he made a mistake bizeh. He made a mistake in this. The Bavliim lo hayibakim b'chasros v'yisoros. Because the Bavliim are not experts in this, so chasors when letters are missing, and yisoros are when these letters are extra. Katiisa b'perakama de Khadushin. And it may be when the time when Rabbi Chi was still in Babel, until he didn't go to Eretz Yisrael to learn, he asked this kasha. Because Rabbi Chia went to Eretz Yisrael, so then he would have become an expert in these things. He would have taught that. So maybe while he was still in Babel, that's when he came up with this teretz. So therefore, since our whole teretz here is that the Ketziv and the Crow, so therefore it's called the Bavli Echad to explain why he didn't know this answer. But maybe there's a different reason why he didn't know this answer. It says the Marshal Mashani Yadov Kettiv. Dahino Yad Achas. So it's written only Yado. Shehiyah small, it's just the left hand. It says the Marshal, Akol Sifri Tehillim Shalifleno Yadov Kettiv. So it says that all the Tehillim that we have, it says Yadav. It doesn't say Ketiv. That our Ketiv is not like the Gemara. Gemara says that Yado Ketiv, but all the Tehillim that we have is Yadiv Ketiv. So someone learning today would have the same question, like Rechia, because all our books, but we're not experts in the Yasser and the Chasron either, so therefore all our books aren't like our Gemara. V'hakasiv Yetzro, so it says in the plural, Yadav Yetzro. So how can you say Yadav Ketiv? It's Yado Ketiv, it's in the singular. Yatzrov Ketiv. Amar Rabbi Nachman Bar Yitzchak Yetzrov Atzvos is going on the fingers. So V'yabash, the dry land, his one hand created them, did his fingers. So the Yatzro, the plural, is going on the fingers. You have the 5 fingers, as it's written. Ki era samecha ma'aseh etzvasecha. When I see the shemayim is the when I see the shemayim, which is the deeds of your fingers. So you see that your fingers created the yerach hakochavim asher kavanta. So you have the moon and the stars which you established. So therefore we see that the fingers is what made shemayim ba'aretz. So meisvei Hashemayim misaprim kavod el u'maisa yadav magid harakia. So that the Shemayim speaks the kavod of Hashem, and the maisim of your hands. There's a plural. It is magid harakia. The rakia speaks it out. The acts of the So here we're going to say, so there we have Yadav again. Maisa Yadav is the Maisa of Shemayim. So we answer Hachi Kamar. Maisa Yadehem Shel Tzadikim. So this Maisa Yadav is the Maisa Yadehem of the Tzadikim. Mi Magid, who's going to give the praise? It's the Magid Harakia. The Rakia will speak it out. So that's what the supposed to say. Maisa Yadav. That's a Tzadikim. The Rakia will give it over the story. Umainin, who how does it tell over the Matar? That because of the deeds of the tzaddikim, therefore we get rain down here. So Rashi Hachikam or Hai Umaisa Yadav Maisa Hatzadikim Ketiv. It's going on the tzaddikim. That's why it's in the plural. She Kariv Maisa Shalahem Maisa Yadav Shalakodesh Baruch Hu. That the deeds of the tzaddikim are called the Maisa of Hashem. Hachikam or Maisa Yadav the Hu Maisa Tzaddikim Magid Arakia Sharakia Magid Leihim Lebrius, so it tells the whole creation, Shehem Tzadikim, Shemispalalim ala Geshamim, because they pray for the rain, Umata Yored, and then the matter comes down because of it. So now we're talking about the fingers. The Gemara continues. Darash Bar Kafra, my dechtiv yesa dichiyelecha al aloznecha, that you will have a peg, will be for your weapons. Don't read your weapons, rather your fingers. So yes, says Gibli, says this is the peg. So alos necha she'im yishma. So you should have a peg for your oizen, for your ears. That if you hear Adam davar she'eni hegun, if you hear something that is not fitting, yaniach etzbosov ba'oiznav. You should put your fingers in your ears. Rashi shehi shafuya ki yesed. You should put your fingers because they are sloping or they are smooth like a peg, so they fit in your ears. That's why are they like pegs? So then the Gemara asks, my time, what do you mean? What's the reason? Kloimar, but my doimus, you said, was what are they similar to? Because they are separated, so that each finger is separate to each other. So here we have a separate point here. We're saying what each finger does, and it needs to be separate to the other fingers. The Amar Mar, Zu Zera, Zu Kamitza, Zu Ama, Zu Etzba, Zu Godel. So each of these fingers, so Zu Zeras is the pinky. So Rashi says, they're not joined up together. All of them, they have a tzorech, every of them they need it, even for a mitzvah. Zuzeres min ha katana, that's the pinky. Mudid in zeres el choshen, that is the size of the zeres in the choshen. A mishpad, you use your pinky to get that size. Zu kamitza, that's the second finger. Me etzba she chosis ha katana, so the one that's etzel, the one that's beside the katana. Matchilin lekoimis, this is where the koimis, the kohen is koimis, the mincha or the koimetz from the mincha offering, and he begins with that finger and he choifa shalosh etzbos, and he cups up 3 fingers al pasyad into his hand. So he goes into the mincha offering and he cups up those 3 fingers, hakamitza v'ha'ama v'ha'etzba v'koimetz, and that's how he does the koimetz. Zu ama, this is the middle finger, megadoila, that's the big one. Moedidin ama binyan v'ama kalim. So when you're making the base of mikdash, you need the ama, which you use the big finger for. Zu etzba lematan damim shel chatus, because you use your index finger for the, you dip your finger in the chatos, and then you put that finger on the mizbeach. Techtiv bei etzboi, ze goydel, that's the thumb, leboihen, the thumb yad de Aaron de mitzoira, so that you put the blood on the thumb of Aaron and the blood of the mitzoira. So Tosfos doesn't like this. Ze godol. Perish b'kontrus le'inyan boihen, that's for the boihen yad of the mitzoira. Ve'ein nira, this doesn't make any sense. De'im kain, have lememor ze boihen. It should have said ze boihen. What does it say ze godel? It says ze boihen because Rashi Dafka says boihen. V'od filo lo mehalek. Even if they was joined up with the rest of the fingers, matzi meshave al boihen. You're able to put the blood on the boihen shehu katzer mikulam, because it's the shortest finger. So if the whole hand was webbed, you'd still be able to put the dam on the thumb because it's the smallest. V'nira de le'inin kamitza kamar. So Tosfos says that it seems that it's all on the kamitza. Ketitanan moichek v'godol. So that when you make the kamitza, you have to rub off any excess mincha with the godol, with the thumb, melamala, at the top. So if you have the komet, so then at the top you rub it off with your thumb. Now we have a side question here. Let's use your left thumb in order to do it. You can't do it with your other thumb. It has to be your right thumb to be in avoid to be yamin, because it has to be avoided with your min. Therefore, it has to be your right thumb in order to do that. So that's why they're all mechalek. What's the difference? Mat tam. You said this. Why is it sloped or smooth like a peg? She'im yishma adam davar she'enu hegon yaniach. It's possible ba'aznav that if he hears something that is not fitting, then he puts his fingers in his ears. So this is. If you said that this is the same idea which you've already said mishupesas, that this is sliding in, that it's smoothed down. So now we have a new idea. Tana de Bei Rabbi Shmuel mifnei ma oizen kula kasha. Why is your whole ear hard? You've got the cartilage that's hard in your ear. V'aliyah, which is the earlobe, is soft. She'im yishma adam davar she'einu hegon. If you hear something that's not fitting, yakof aleya letoicha. You can put your earlobe into your ear. As a basar b'sofa oizen, that's the earlobe. Now, so what's the maklokas between Debay Rabbi Shmuel and the first? One man Damar holds that you put your finger in your ear, and here we're saying you put your earlobe in your ear. So what's the maklokas? Zachas M'Soifer. Shimshama Adam Davar Shein Hegun Yikefalos nearly Mishom de Ketiv Yesati Lecha Elos Necha V'Simachale. It says that you will have your machane is holy. But lo yirebacha erves david, you won't see anything bad in it. V'shem achicha minei ofin shelo lahaskir shem shemayim b'guf she'inanoki. So therefore, we learn from this that you shouldn't mention the shem shemayim with a guf that's not clean. And when you stick your finger in your ear, yitlachlech ha'etzba b'tzoya. Then you'll stick your finger and then you'll touch the earwax, and the earwax is like soya, and you'll be metame sheba'oizim v'lo yechaven ledavar or lehir divrei Torah, and then you're not allowed to then think about divrei Torah. Aken etza hayutza. So therefore, what should you do since you can't stick your finger in your ear and say divrei shem shemaim? Sheyikof alei latoicha v'yifskok beinu leetzba v'lo yitbatel. So then you should stick your earlobe into your ear, and your finger touches the earlobe and then touches your earwax, and it doesn't touch the earwax, and therefore doesn't become mitame. So therefore, there's a machlokas really between whether earwax is going to be mitame or not. I think I've heard that earwax outside of the ear is not metame. So if you have a bit of earwax on your side of your ear, you can scratch it off during davening. But to stick your finger in your ear, then you can't do that during davening because the earwax is tame, and therefore it's not tame. It makes you dirty, and therefore you have to wash your hands afterwards. So if you scratch at your ear, so now you have to go and metame. So the way the Chasam Sofer is explaining the Gemara is that it says that you stick your fingers in your ear. However, that's going to make you dirty, and you shouldn't say Divrei Shemaim. So therefore, it says, well, don't worry, because your earlobe is soft, and therefore you can use your earlobe in order to cover your ear, and then your finger itself won't actually become tame through it. However, you can say in the first lashon that the first lashon holds that the earwax is not mitame, and therefore I don't need this whole eitzah of having the earlobe, and therefore I can stick my finger straight in my ear. So you could learn that there's no maklokas. Sorry, that there is a maklokas as to whether the earwax is melechlach, that you need to wash your hands again, and then can you say divrei shemaim once you touch the earwax? So according to the first lashon, no. According to the second lashon, yes, and therefore you have to use your earlobe as an intermediary. So the last point of this, Tana Rabbanan, al yishmiya adam leoznav divrei betelim. A man shouldn't hear things to his ears that are bottled, divrei betelim, mepnei shehem nechem betechila le'averim, because they will be burnt first of all your limbs, so that the ears get burnt first, and therefore you shouldn't have davar batelim. I think the Marsha here learns that it means davar also. No, I think the Marsha Davka learns that it's davar even davar b'telem. And davar b'telem is not davar osur. If you hear, if I tell you the Yankees suck, then that's davar b'telem. It's not divrei Torah. So if you hear that, so then you should be careful that it doesn't happen because they get burnt techila. So Rashi, rachos, since they're soft, and dakos, and thin, to be burnt from all of them, from all your other aver. And v'hachi nami amrinu b'mesechas v'udazara, hi, eidich this goy, that he is at charach reisha, shari lemechel, afilu miresh adoni, even from the top of the ear. FOP, machamer shememaher lavashal, even though that it's quick to cook. So that's the, you see the ear is the quickest to cook. The Maharal asks on this pshat, once you're going to burn, then everything's going to get cooked. So therefore, who really cares how quickly everything cooks? And it clearly has to be some type of ruchnius thing. And why does it? Who really cares if it's first? So there's a haflaw. He has a bit of business here. He's talking about nasa v'nishma. He says that the nasa is the doing and the nishma is the hearing, and we see that it says so nasa v'nishma. Who told them the secrets? So that the secret is in the nishma. So that the nishma is greater than the deed. So there he goes on to say that like even hearing about something is worse than doing it. So therefore, that's why it'll go first, because it's the ikr and it's koilal, all the other mitzvahs. But he has at the end. I mean, there's many pshatim here. You can look in the Maharal and in the haflaw here, and you got the Marsha. But there's the basic idea here is that your ear is a higher level of spirituality, and that the Shemiah is a higher level of spirituality, and therefore in Gehenna it's going to be, since that's where these things enter, that's going to be punished for even things that are bottle. The Shir Dreshus Bar Kafra. This is the what Bar Kafra is up to. Shebetchila davar b'maisim Adam. First, he starts off saying that Ma'aseh Adam greater than Shemayim. Shehu mechaber kol hanasim akol el Shemayim va'aretz. Because he is mechaber, he's bringing together everything that was made in the whole Shemayim va'aretz. And afterwards, he's going v'maiseh tzadikim, da'adif mineh. So we start off that God made the Shemayim with one hand. And then we say, so the whole of Shemayim and Aretz was all done with one hand. But the tzadikim is even greater than the Shemayim. And that was the Mikdash. And then we reach the level of nasa, because the nasa is the acts of the tzaddikim. And then so then he goes on to that you shouldn't even hear things because the nishma is on the highest level, and therefore that's the ikr of the man. So you start off with the Maisa Shemayim, which is really quite crap. Then you have the Maisa Tzadikim, and that's the nasa, and then you have the highest level, which is the nishma. And that's the drashas of Bar Kafra.